Today's Reddit story comes from the subreddit BestOfRedditorUpdates, and it's titled, Am I the a-hole for not giving my house to my sister-in-law? It was originally posted on Am I the a-hole? Background. My 30 female husband, 32 male, has a younger sister, 25 female. Sister-in-law is currently going through a divorce with 4 children. My husband and I also have 4 children. My husband and I live on a very quiet country back road in our little town, us and his family being the only residents on the road. So both his sisters and their families and his parents live within walking distance of our house. My husband and I have been married for 7 years and have 4 young children. My husband bought the land we live on from his parents when he was 18, and when we got married, we built a house on it. We designed our house with a big family in mind and designed it to be our forever home. It has never been a thought to move out or look elsewhere. My sister-in-law is going through a divorce. She is struggling, to say the least. She was in a very toxic relationship with her ex, and with her contributing just as much as he was, and he filed for divorce and moved out, leaving the 4 kids with her. My mother-in-law called my husband 2 nights ago and asked if we could come over for a chat. We get there, and my in-laws and sister-in-law are sitting on a couch like they were staging some kind of intervention. It was just really strange. My mother-in-law didn't beat around the bush at all. She explained how sister-in-law's ex was getting the house in a divorce and they would be homeless within a month if we didn't give her our home. It honestly took me a second to comprehend what she even said because it was so out of left field. Husband didn't even need that second and looked them dead in the eye and said no. In-laws started telling us things like, you guys don't need all that house. You guys can move into one of the new neighborhoods in town. You guys can just build a new house. I offered to open up our playroom and guest bedroom to them until they could find somewhere to live. We have air mattresses and the guest room has a full bath, but that was not good enough apparently. That's when we got up and left. They began yelling after us, saying we don't care about the children, family helps family, we're being greedy and selfish, etc., etc. I'm honestly so proud of how we reacted because my first instinct was to go off and say some hurtful things, but we just went home to our home. We love sister-in-law's kids and obviously do not want them to be homeless, but they don't need my house at the expense of my own children and family. I don't see why sister-in-law's family deserves my home. What about my kids? Now the in-laws are calling and texting, saying we don't care about the kids. We're selfish and greedy. We're making her homeless. And I'm wondering if maybe we were too quick to say no. So, am I the a-hole for not giving my home to my sister-in-law? Wow, the entitlement from the in-laws and the sister-in-law especially. OP was nice enough to open up a playroom and another room that has a full bath for the sister-in-law and her 4 children to stay until they find a more steady and stable housing. And they refuse because it's not good enough? Wow, beggars shouldn't be choosers like that. You should be grateful that OP was even nice enough to offer that to you. You're about to be homeless. And if that's not good enough, you know what, sister-in-law? Stay with your mom. Stay with mother-in-law at that point. I mean, and the audacity of the mother-in-law to say, oh, you're being selfish, you're being greedy, family helps family. Aren't you family and mother-in-law? That's your daughter. Those are your grandchildren. Why can't you open your home to them? Since OP and her family are already taking up their own place. Why should OP and her family be kicked out of a house that they built, that they bought? Why does the sister-in-law deserve their house more than them? Wow. The entitlement is just unbelievable. But let's see what some of the commenters have to say. First commenter says, not the a-hole. You can't be making someone homeless when you have literally offered them space in your own home. Sister-in-law is making herself homeless by turning down offers of assistance because they aren't exactly what she's going for. She's really the selfish and greedy one because she insists on displacing your family rather than humble herself to live temporarily in someone else's home. Sometimes it sucks to sucks, and for sister-in-law, this may be one of those times. But word to the wise, take your offer off the table. You've already seen they were willing to resort to anything to get you to bend or cave. They aren't interested in respecting you or treating you with dignity. When sister-in-law gets desperate, she may finally agree to your offer, but that doesn't mean the bullying will stop. Likely it'll get worse and she'll try to make your life miserable from within your own home until you're forced to consider kicking her out, and then the guilt trips will get 1,000 times worse as you are literally kicking her out onto the streets. Instead, call their bluff. We are very disappointed with how little respect this family has for our family, our children, and our own home. In light of this, the previous offers to open up the playroom to sister-in-law is no longer on the table, and we feel it would be a mistake to try and share space with someone who clearly has no respect for us. We rest easy knowing that all the rest of you, who are clearly not as greedy or selfish as us, are likely waiting with open arms to accept sister-in-law with her kids into your home so she will have somewhere to go without our offer. Woo! I like that comment. OP responded by saying, my husband has already told sister-in-law that she isn't welcome anymore, but honestly, if it came down to it, I would take the kids in a heartbeat. They didn't ask for this, and they're struggling so much, but sister-in-law can sleep in the shed. Wow. Then another commenter says, how is the ex getting the house if she's the one with the kids? Assuming that they're his kids, that is. OP responds by saying, the house is his, bought and paid for by him without her contributing a cent. So that definitely factors in. But from my understanding, she can't buy him out because she has no money and the in-laws can't or won't buy him out either. And I'm also understanding that he is paying quite a pretty penny in child support. So I don't think she would get the house paid for by him and child support. She may have had to pick one or the other. And I can say with certainty she would choose child support money. Yeah. Another commenter says, your in-laws are old. Their family is grown up. They don't need their house. They should stop being so selfish and move out somewhere smaller so their daughter can have their house. Why are they making her homeless? Why don't they care about their grandkids? How is it any of that reasonable? Not the a-hole. That's exactly what I'm asking. OP does respond by saying, my husband has been dealing with his parents and sister. I've been ignoring all the texts and calls, but from what they're saying, their house is too small. Only 2 bedrooms. And they need something bigger for the kids to be able to thrive. Wow. So obviously that means my own kids have to move out of the home they all lived in for their whole lives and just go somewhere else while my husband and I still pay for them to live in our house because sister-in-law doesn't work and has no plan to. Wow. Okay. So sister-in-law's a stay-at-home mom. Nothing wrong with that. But then you're trying to live rent-free at OP's house? And what? No. There is an update. Let's get into it. So, as a lot of you and myself, though, sister-in-law was lying about a lot. Not gonna go into too much detail because it's seriously years worth of lies, but my husband and I called the ex-brother-in-law and we 100% fully believe everything her ex told us. He has no reason to lie to us and say over and over he just wants the best for his kids, and he is trying his best not to do anything that could possibly harm him in a court of law. She lied about him getting the house, lied about how much she was going to get in child support, lied about how often she would have to have her children. Something else that came out is that her oldest child is not even her ex's child. Ooh! Just so many lies. We feel so incredibly stupid and deceived and disgusted, to be honest. We told my in-laws everything he had said, and they were upset to find out she has been lying. But they kind of doubled down, saying she must have had a good reason. She's backed into a corner. She's really going through a tough time and a bunch of other nonsense. Sister-in-law was called and asked to come and join us. She, of course, took zero accountability for the lying and sneaking and was screaming at us about how gross we were to go behind her back to her ex, how she will never trust us again because we betrayed her. She also let us know that she was asking for our house because she truly feels like we had actually built it for her. What? Our kids' room or how she would have designed them herself. She would love to cook in my kitchen. She loves my bathroom layout. Basically, everything about my house is how she would have built it herself. And she thinks that I must have somehow known she would need a home in the future. At that point, I was done. And so was my husband. Can't argue with bat crap crazy. We left to a whole lot of screaming about no longer being family and to not expect to see them again. Honestly, I think never seeing them again is the only way to go from here. It's been a crazy few days since then. We hired a friend of my husband's to put up a privacy fence around our entire property and added extra cameras to our security system. We have a good family friend of our family, not husband's, on the police force and let him know the situation so he knows if he gets a phone call from us, it's serious. I think sister-in-law thought that she could have my house because she loved it. That's kind of it. She wanted it, so she thought she deserved it. I guess she was either planning to sell her house at some point or maybe rent it out. I have no idea. I really don't think she had thought it all through. And she just thought that if she told us all she was losing the house, then we would feel obligated to help her in the way she wanted. So I hope this clears up some questions. I know I feel at peace with the situation. My husband has been grieving a bit. He's sad that his parents have chosen a liar over a man who has done everything for his family, never hesitated to help, and only ever been doting son. But I think this is for the best. They don't treat him the way he deserves, and I'm glad to be rid of them. I'm sad for my kids and the situation this puts them in, but my family has enough love for everyone. Thank you for everyone who took the time to comment and message and give advice and ask questions. Hopefully you guys won't hear from me again. Wow, sister-in-law is delusional. She thinks she deserves OP's house because that's the way she wanted it. She thought that the OP and her husband built the house for her. What? This lady is crazy. Seriously crazy. She's entitled. She's crazy. I have no word for it. Like, you're making yourself worse. She's a liar. And I can't believe the in-laws, her parents, OP's in-laws took the side of the sister. Even finding out that the sister had lied and said all of these other things, they still took sister-in-law's side. You know what? Get rid of this whole entire toxic family. Seriously. I'm glad that you guys are out, and I'm sad that your kids don't get to play with their cousins, but you know what? This is for the best. Anyways, what do you guys think of this story? I would love to hear about it in the comments section. And remember, if you like these types of stories, to continue to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.